then like how usual do you go back to Scintilla to like briefing and keeping track of things that are happening at the Imperium at large, if you do so in the first place, because I don't know if you do.
Right. God.
Oh my god, plug in. There we go.
What was I saying? I would assume once every few months, maybe. Once every 3 to 6 months, perhaps. Ending. Actually, about how long would it take to get to Scintilla?
From the Severance subsector, I think with the ship that you had, which might change if you will decide to land a better one from Admiral, it is 3 weeks in one way.
Would it not be possible to borrow a faster ship, not to keep it, just hey, we need to go to Scintilla. Can I get this really quick ship you got there?
I'm commandeering this vehicle.
Let's see. Yeah, actually they would be able to find one that reduces the travel time in one way to, let's say, week and a half.
Okay, so it takes a week and a half to go one way. So 10 days, one way trip. So that means 20 days, in addition to however much time we spent on Scintilla. So probably in that case, once every 6 months. Once every 6 months or so. Maybe a little longer if we don't have anything particularly interesting to report. But that would be in general.
So
I mean, I'm just saying that. Anyone else have input on that?
No, that's fine with me.
That's fine. But as said, did you guys decide what we're spending the time?
Not yet. I was planning.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Unless if nobody has something he wants to do or thing he wants to do, we might.
I wasn't trying to rush anything. I just didn't know when I was away. I was looking after my mum. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I ran off any ideas for scene for now, so we might as well go with the time skip spending. So as you see, I think I explained things more or less. That you have a pool of, well, more or less points that you can spend. And to explain things, because I was writing those options like 5 minutes before the game started. So to explain how they work more or less. Intelligence network is getting yourself like a la Varys from Game of Thrones spy network, people, contacts, just somebody that you meet once or twice, but he provides you with useful bits of information if he has some. And that network would cover both the Severan, subsector, rather spin-off subsector, and the Calixis sector in, general. And that would, I mean, Calixis sector and perhaps surrounding areas. I don't have the map of the segmentum open, so this is not the entire segmentum, but rather you have like a nice net in the Calixis, and for the entire segmentum you have like in the most vital places like 1 or 2 guys that from time to time, if needed, they send you they were sending you periodic reports over time. And setting that up would cost 3p. And this is like very much fluff-wise, and also sometimes perhaps story-wise, because you might, when we continue with like usual sessions, you might start learning stuff from them, and you can use this as a resource to gaining information. Don't mess with my operation. This is the option that would make, especially Xanthis gain enemy out of Ecclesiarchy, but fluff-wise, it would make sure that the Ecclesiarchy, or anybody for that matter, even enemy inquisitors or like political enemies, would dare to mess with operation that you are doing in the Severan Dome. And in regards to Ecclesiarchy, like specifics will be like left to you if you want, but you can even imagine doing the thing like mafia style, like suddenly Cardinal waking himself up in a bed and there's like a bloodied animal head in his bed, for example. If you want to go that way, but you don't need.
So it's basically it's a threat essentially. If you get in the way, I'm going to kill you, kind of deal.
I mean, you can perceive it that way, but yeah, fluff-wise, it's like, yeah, you don't really want to mess with me, nor especially my operation.
Interesting.
And hardcore military training for mooks, it's basically a thing that it will mean that over the course of these years, you just focus on making sure that the mooks have like hardcore elite characteristics. So it would mean that the mooks statistics or other characteristics, as strength, toughness, etc., they get capped. So for mooks, 2 of their stats can be up to 60, which one of those is already capped, and the rest of them is up to 50. And
so, willpower?
Probably this will also include, bumping up their like wounds to a max of 20, I believe. And yeah, to answer the question, John, they already have like 60 willpower, so that's one of the caps. Because mooks, I said that in terms of characteristics, they can only have 2 characteristics that have 60 max.
Okay.
All of it, the rest of it needs to be like max is 50. That's the hard cap.
What about combat-based talents like step aside, etc.?
With hardcore military training for mooks costing 5 points, I would say that they get 3 combat talents of your choice. But I'm reserving the right to say no if it doesn't make sense. Fearless would make sense, but if something doesn't make sense,
I can show the horrors of the war.
I would not.
Fearless, if I remember, requires at least 60 willpower.
They have 60 willpower.
Okay.
Now, continuing, Perma land a ship is kinda self-explaining. I assumed you would not want like smaller ships like escorts or destroyers. I started counting from light cruisers. Battleships, which would cost like majority of your resources, meaning 20 points. With exceptions, meaning that obviously I'm not giving you, no fucking way I'm giving you a Apocalypse class battleship. Forget about it. Not giving you that, not giving you Emperor class battleship. Basically the only class of battleships that you will potentially be able to get is Oberon, Retribution, Victory, Vanquisher and Invincible class.
Vanquisher sounds edgy enough.
Now, for other option, Arguments of Power, Powerful Arguments. Well, this is the option that...
Ever the Edgelord.
That you can spend like 1 point, 2 points or 3 points, depending on how much you want. And... fuck, how should I explain this properly? Fluff-wise, I don't have any good explanation right now, but mechanically, this is basically something that you're spending mostly your influence and being badasses that mostly in the subsector, but like in Calix's sector in some ways, while dealing with some officials and whatnot, if you don't cap your plus 60 modifiers, assuming you don't have that much, then depending on how many points you spend, you get like bonuses on some rolls. Basically, this is like arguments of power, power of arguments. Like you can use argument of power, hit somebody to make him do something, or you can use power of arguments. Yeah, I don't have fucking good explanation for that. Now that's some firepower, depending if you go for 2 or 4 option. This is like 2 vehicles. Version for 2 points gives you 1 more Chimera transport, plus 1 combat oriented vehicle, and 4-point version gives you 1 Chimera and 3 combat oriented vehicles.
Valkyrie, please.
And now for shopping spree.
No, Arvis. Always Arvis.
It's not a combat ship, though.
But it's
no, I'm not allowing Bane Blades.
Totally
Basilisk.
get. Oh no! Yeah, I was about to say we have the ordnance guy. Get him a basilisk.
Bring me those Earthshaker rounds, boy.
Shatter their skulls.
You say no Bane Blades, but can we get the Mechanicus version of them?
No.
Venturius or whatever the hell they're
I
called.
mean, you say we're not allowed Bane Blades, but
What
then
about a Onager?
Who the fuck would allow Bane Blades? Come on.
Well,
This
I
is
mean,
like
you say that,
bullshit.
but then I see at the bottom Titan Legion.
That's what I'm about to say. Let's do this in order. What's a shopping spree?
Yeah.
So we can get to the Titan Legion.
It's not like you are getting Titan Legion. You are not getting Titan for yourself.
An
This is
ally
mostly for
Titan Legion.
shopping spree. This basically will bump. This will allow for both mooks and command squad getting better equipment.
That also include the oh god, what's the admiral called again? Hans Jamak and his people. Would that upgrade their stuff as well?
He already has the best stuff if he's a Lord Admiral.
Yeah,
doesn't have
yeah,
oh,
sure. Now this shopping
I mean,
spree
his
is
people.
is for you 150
Okay,
people.
sure.
So that would mean the stuff that they already had can be. It means that they have at least good quality stuff, everything, and if you want, and this makes sense, you will be able to upgrade like armors and weapons of your guys, as long as it is not exotic, unique bullshit.
We have 150 men. How many squads would that make in total? As in
15.
split. Okay,
15
so
squads,
10,
basically.
10 each. Okay, so why not have? You could just split them up into different things, like one for heavy weapons, melee stuff, etc., etc.
Oh, that's the plan. Have
Yeah.
a couple of heavy weapon squads, a couple of melee squads, maybe 1 or 2 reconnaissance squads, that kind of deal.
Can we get
Get
the
specializations.
the pseudo Elysian drop troopers with their jump packs?
Bring in the orbital drop squads. Bring in the halos.
ODST.
That's it.
Yep.
Orbital drop shock trooper.
Feet first.
The desperate measures.
Ass first. What?
So, what's all this about a Titan Legion?
Yeah, that doesn't mean you get Titan for yourself. It mostly means that you are focusing some of your resources in establishing a positive connection with Collegia Titanica, and especially with one of their present Titan Legions in the area, so that they might be used when the time comes as plot
That'll
twisters.
have to be through Sigmund.
Yeah.
Because,
Definitely.
yeah. There's just too many negatives to deal with for everyone else. I mean, I have a bit of...
They would
I mean, of
literally
course,
laugh at
it
anyone
had
else.
to be go through Sigmund, but that opens up interesting options. Like,
I mean, I could do a little bit of
Sigmund-
stuff.
Sigmund, hey, we need, like, it would be fun if we had these guys, like, as sort of backup if necessary to call, you know?
Sigmund fires at Titans.
Yeah, well, he gets to use his in place of his fellowship and I mean, even with the -30, it's still a lot easier for him.
Yeah.
Exactly. What are we going to be fighting that we need a Titan? Oh goodness.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Even if we don't yet, it's always nice knowing we have that option.
Just so
And
we have it.
I was
funny
about,
bit is,
I was about
I
to
would-
say, I'm surprised that an Exterminatus fleet or a favor with them, a favor of one of those was not on the list.
I mean, if we get a big enough ship, we can do Exterminatus
I mean,
ourselves.
an Exterminatus fleet is just a fleet that has you
The
know
capability of
the equipment to perform.
Yeah,
Okay.
We would
It's
just
just
need
like- it's just an
torpedoes,
equipment.
loaded with like either vortex torpedoes or virus bomb.
Virus bomb now.
Virus, yeah. No, don't use that. It's icky.
you just need, like, properly equipped single battleship to do X.
Or you can just do it with numbers and just have a bunch of battleships just beat the shit out of the.
Blast it to fucking
that's
kingdom
the
come.
only
Yeah,
way.
it's happened.
And besides,
that's
that wouldn't make sense because Inquisitor has the right to order Exterminatus, and then
That's true.
favors do not give a fuck. He gave the order, you fucking execute it, or you fuck.
I mean, and the Lord Admiral is our friend, so hey, Johannes, I need 5 of your Exterminatus ships. Hey, right now. Why? What do you mean, why? What kind of question is that? Why do you think? But yes, I'm pretty sure Exterminatus is not going to be difficult. And I'm also pretty sure we're almost never going to do it. So...
Well, you say that.
Yeah, I know, right? I say that our exact next mission is going to be Tyranids all over the planet. Like, nope,
Yes,
fuck that.
please.
I ain't going down there. I ain't going down there. We Exterminatus it right now. Matt, do not laugh like that.
Stop being a pussy. Let's go.
I ain't going down on that planet.
Inquisitor,
Anyway,
forgive me for not mincing my words, but why are you being such a pussy?
why do you want to die? Real quick, explain to me arguments of power again. Power of argument. What does that do again?
I think it's something to do with like leveraging stuff in politics and stuff.
You know what?
Is it influence?
I might as well fucking delete it because when I was writing it down, I thought I had an idea what it will do, but now I don't have it, so...
I mean, if you wanted to leave it there, we could just say it's an influence thing, but whatever. Alright, now to get into this. Gents, what do we want? Well,
Intelligence
first off,
network. That's always
before
fun.
we even get into the rest of that, what size ship do we want? Because I'm pretty sure that's going to be an inevitable
What do we
on
have?
the list.
Do we have a personal ship right now?
No,
Or are we borrowing?
we don't. We're borrowing
Technically,
one.
we were borrowing a ship from
No,
Johannes.
we do have a ship. It's the rogue traders ship.
Oh,
There
what
have
happened?
any
No,
more?
that got...
That got...
Oh yeah,
Oh, no.
I thought we managed. I thought we used.
No,
it
we-
off the banner.
No,
That
we
went to
gave it to
the
them.
that went to the Navy.
Yeah,
And
they gave
they
it to the
have-
Navy and Admiral was like, yeah, it belonged to heretics, I use it as a orbital bombardment.
He threw the ship at them. Literally.
I suppose that's one way of doing it, but no, we don't have one over.
I think if either a cruiser or light cruiser, I think would be a good balance between speed
Okay.
and power.
The thing is, if
in
you
my
can't,
game, the Inexorable is a light cruiser. If you want a comparison,
the
yeah.
thing is,
The Hammer is a cruiser.
We're getting enemies if we're getting more enemies, ergo like the Ecclesiarchy, they had a pretty well equipped ship, and we do not have the Admiral around to help us.
Well, I mean,
we would be destroyed.
No, I mean this isn't. They don't have Sylvana. They're not going to have an inquisitorial battle barge. It's just not.
Oh yeah, I know that, but their ship still outclassed anything in the current navy we had.
No, I mean that's very, very specific. That's essentially a mobile, cannon fortress with canoness, who just so happens to be, an inquisitorial lord. That's a very, very specific case. The Ecclesiarchy doesn't have ships like this. They essentially, the Crusades are voluntary, so they don't. They can't really send.
They have volunteers. They're called the Frateris something like that.
Yeah, and the sections of the Imperial Navy or civilian ships that decide that they're going to do something for the church, they send things out. But the decree passive since Vandai, so for the past 5,000 years or so, the Ecclesiarchy does not have ships under arms that they can just command. They have, it's like the Inquisition, where the Sororitas can, say, take us here, take us there. They had some things that they might be able to, but they are limited in what kind of military hardware they can throw at something.
Besides, if we get the don't mess with my operation, then
there's no navy other than the Imperial Navy.
Our foes will be it'll be harder for them to even do anything if we get don't mess with my operation and an intelligence network that'll probably be able to tell us that they're coming.
Yeah, preemptively.
And if we get a light cruiser, then we can actually get everything else on this list. I just did the math, and it adds up to 20 exactly if we want to get the network, the operation, a light cruiser, firepower at 4P, shopping spree, and the Titan Legion. And Xanthus can spend his own 5 to get the hardcore military training.
Sure. Let's do that then.
Sure, yeah.
Light cruisers are fast. I mean, it's not as fast as, say, a sword frigate or anything like that, but they're pretty good.
It's also not as heavily armed as a lot of other
we could just use the inexorable stats. I mean, there's literally no difference.
Yeah.
Well,
in fact, we can
there's
even
a
use the
difference in
image. Well, the inexorable's the inexorable is kind of like best quality everything.
I mean, there's no reason why this wouldn't be. We're literally saying,
the difference was that
light cruiser.
The inexorable
had the Cairo.
Cairo designed and built half of it, so we don't have quite that. But
they also had a well-respected Inquisitor saying, "Okay, yeah, he can do it."
Fair enough.
You're not Maller.
Am I not respected?
You're not Mr. Potato Head.
You haven't been an Inquisitor as long as he was.
Also, there's the fact that for some elements you're under suspicion.
I'm crossing my arms indignantly.
I'm making coffee.
You don't know me, John. Maybe my arms do pop off.
I mean, if necessary, I can still stat one. It just wouldn't be quite as shiny as the inexorable.
But yes, don't forget though, we are literally probably getting Johannes' best light cruiser if we're getting a light cruiser. It isn't going to be like his average thing. That isn't what he would get.
Ain't no basic bitch.
Exactly. This ain't no basic bitch.
Yeah.
But anyway, is that what we're agreeing on?
So, yeah, if we get everything on the list, let's go.
Oh, yeah. If my math isn't wrong.
I mean, a battleship would be
9, 13, 16, 20.
It's 25 in total. Everything is 25, and we have 25.
Mm-hmm.
If we get at least some things at good quality, like weapons and whatnot, then we can hit a bit higher above our class, and then anything that's too big we can outrun. So great.
Exactly. Especially since we are getting now that's some firepower. I imagine that also extends to our ship.
Well, it's also the case that
No,
after the fact we can start improving. So this is just during the downtime, and then
Zhao can save up and buy stuff for us.
the firepower is for the our mooks.
The peeps.
Yeah.
Let's be on
3 combat vehicles, 1 troop transport.
Oh yes, and while we're on the topic, do you really think anyone's gonna come mess with us if we have a Titan Legion, John? Even just one Titan?
Well, again, to be fair, this is us opening negotiations with Legion.
Yeah, I'm just kind of messing around at this point. Matt, we have made our decisions.
We want everything.
And we'll go with the light cruiser.
Yep. We are getting a light cruiser, and thus we should be able to afford basically everything on the list.
It all adds up to 25 if we take the light cruiser, and lo and behold, we have 25 points.
That's cool.
25 quid.
And I still have 100,000 gelt if we need anything.
Okay, so over the course of 5 years, we get ourselves an intelligence network. We throw our weight around with our enemies. Don't mess with us.
I spent 110 grand on that guy. He's better to really
We get ourselves a light cruiser, and we're getting the firepower at 4p. Shopping spree, Titan Legion, and Xanthus uses his 5 to get his men that hardcore training.
We need to figure out what stuff we're giving people as well. As in the talents for the hardcore military training, the ironing out what things we want from the shopping spree, the vehicles for the firepower, etc.
If I may start, like after the time skip, it would not be like it will be after like you negotiate, like Sigma negotiated with one of the Titan Legions, which I will like next session figure out which one.
Yeah.
Probably less. I mean, canon one, but that's the one that's less described, so I can.
You can also just make one up. I mean, that's part of the fun of being a GM, just making shit up.
I mean, true, but I mean, if there's a like very badly described, like, for example, I found like a Space Marine chapter that's basically its only description is that they took part in Battle of Vospis or Vopis, like feudal world. So that's the only thing you know about them, so you can like then use them freely. So yeah, after a time scale you would have like, and this Legion I'm gonna say already, because of the firepower they care, it's not one of the most like, you know, super ones. They're like more on the downside, but they have.
Do they have at least Warlord Titans?
I mean, I want to say they probably have 2 Titans max right now.
One, I mean, I don't know if you want to one.
And one might be.
Considering that he's Venatori from the Lathes, here we go. Legio Venator probably would be one of the better ones. It's a possibility. Because
Titan's a Titan at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're located on
more is better than
the
less.
Lathe groups. They are the ones, one of the Titan legions that are seconded to the Lathes, so it would be a fairly simple matter.
Yeah, but yeah, 2 Titans not in the very prime condition. And I will figure it out if I want Warlord or not, but probably no Warlord, not too much, but at least 2 Titans, so that's additional firepower if needed to call on, because they will have their own transportation and what. They will keep in touch, and in return, of course, they get something. Okay, so we can figure it out.
They do have an Imperator, though.
Cool. I like the Warhounds too. They're cute. They're like little dogs. They like even their heads are dog shaped. It's cute. Look. Little dog nose.
Okay. Military. I mean, we can go with military.
Oh my god, that is kind of cute.
Training for training for mooks first. What's the second attribute you bring to 60 for mooks?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Can we divide it half and half?
Hmm.
No, that's the
Well,
hard
as in like, no, I mean like 75 gets max ballistic skill, for example, the other
No.
weapon skill. Okay.
All right. So what do we want?
Tough-
Fellowship.
toughness.
I have no strong opinions one way or the other. You guys. choose.
Toughness would probably mean that it would be a lot harder to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Has their willpower already been maxed?
Yep,
Yeah,
willpower
okay,
and
good.
one more.
That's the one that's at 60.
Okay.
I would
Then
say
toughness
ballistic
would probably
skill.
be the. I mean, if we didn't have 150 of them, this is the or is this the elite squad we're doing?
This
This
all
is
of them.
the
Oh,
this
yeah,
is the
if-
mooks.
Yeah, like I said, if we didn't have 100 of them, I would say bump the ballistic skill, but we have.
Yeah,
100
that's
of
true.
them.
Volume of fire.
Yeah. So yeah, bump their toughness up. That'll let them sponge more damage, which gives them more time to make more hits.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Toughness 60. And the rest of it gets bumped to what now?
50.
50.
50. Okay.
Wounds
Still
get
pretty darn good.
bumped to 20.
Pretty good
mean,
for
in the-
being a bunch of mooks.
I mean, in the end, with 60 ballistic skill, it's still technically possible for them to miss multiple hits in a row, whereas they're always going to be able to sponge 6 points of damage no matter what if their toughness is 60. So
Everything is 50 except for toughness and willpower, which are 60.
yeah.
Yep.
And
What
wounds
about
get
their
bumped to
combat
20.
traits?
And 3 combat talents.
Well, let's see.
That I can
Fearless.
veto, but if they are reasonable, I can agree.
Did we give them fearless? Kenneth
don't-
does have that trait that lets them all be fearless already.
Yeah, so does Zhao. So
yeah,
I
but
don't
they're
know
not
that-
always going to be around. Just look what happened. We took the command squad with us to the Orc Fort, and then there was others
That's true.
doing other things around.
It's true.
Yeah, but we just gave them willpower 60, so I don't.
I mean,
Let's
it
see
still
here.
works